What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode and live stream of Let's Get Nuts here on the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back, guys. I totally messed up my StreamYard link today, so if you guys were in and suddenly it got deleted and now you're back, that is the reason why. It was my mess up. But either way, we are here together again. We've got the panel of the boys, and we've got so much figure news to talk about, specifically Hot Toys, a little bit of Inart news in there as well with that Catwoman. But I want to talk some entertainment news as well, because we saw some Doomsday leaks, which has inspired some thoughts for me. So guys, stick around. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and of course, let's get nuts.
What are you doing? You're completely outnumbered here. Are you nuts? You want to get 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 nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Alrighty, welcome back. So, as maybe some of you guys have heard already, StreamYard has given us another update, which of course means that all my button clicks are in different places. Everything feels different, but either way, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the co-host of Let's Get Nuts. Let's bring him out here. We've got Mr. 1, Adam 12, back in the house again on the right stream, which is good to see. How's it going, man?
How we doing, Ben?
Good. Sorry for the last minute confusion there. As I said, I apologize. I was scrambling to build the link again at the 11th hour, so you hate to see it, but things have been good.
Yeah, not that I want Google to have any more power, but I'm just surprised that Google, which owns YouTube, doesn't offer this type of software, at a cost, 100%. Obviously, to users on their own. Sure. Why they're leaving money on the table with StreamYard or some of the other providers. I don't know. It's weird, because I would think if they offered it themselves, it would be better integrated into their theoretically better integrated into YouTube.
Literally just their ability to to kind of forecast it, right, and have it part of their analytics flow, and make it more predictable for the streamers, for their audiences and all the things, right? Because I agree, like even I was on Will Fox Vacation on Friday, and he uses Melon over there. Like it was like, it's not a bad program, but like it also has some of its own kind of weird bugs, but still costs money, right? So I agree that they're 100% leaving money on the table by not giving us a little more through YouTube. But either way, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the members here pretty soon, right? Because I want to still be able to do channel membership giveaways. I want to be able to do those things. But right now, StreamYard is costing $125 Canadian a month. Just so I can stream in higher definition, but I can stream in 720p for free and take that $120 a month, and every 6 months give a figure giveaway instead. Or every 4 months give a figure away instead, right? So at some point, you guys should let me know if you don't care about seeing us in high definition and would rather have more channel giveaways. Maybe I'll just downgrade StreamYard again at some point. But we got the Jedi Knights Watch here. Just a quick shout out, stopping by to say hi, Ben, Adam, fellow nerds. I've been invited to Wolfpack Wednesday on Wednesday this coming week again. So definitely stay tuned. I think you were saying you might poke you too, Adam, but I don't know if you had a chance.
I'm going to be on as well. Yeah.
That's awesome. The Let's Get Nuts crew will be with the Wolfpack Wednesday boys this coming Wednesday, so don't miss it, especially if there's some more fun news to talk about. But guys, we have more panels here. Adam, dude, thank you for being here as always. Always love your face. Glad to have you back. We got, of course, some may call him Wolverine. I call him Extra Wolverine. We've got Dave in the house with us with a whole new Wolverine figure behind you too, which I want to take a better look at. So good to see you, man. How's it going?
Oh man, it's going all right. You should know that when you go to search for the stream, there are two of them showing, and one is the full one, and one is the teeny tiny one. And on my TV screen, I was seeing the teeny tiny one. But I switched over to the big one. So if anyone's having that problem, now you know. Go to the other one.
Yes, it's available in vertical and in horizontal mode. So I don't know. The vertical mode looks really, really weird. If I'm honest,
It's very odd. Yes, I see myself in the vertical mode as well from this screen, and I'm like halfway there.
Like half of yourself. Yeah, there he is.
I'm half the man I used to. All right.
Yeah, it's like
Love it,
YouTube
buddy.
and the TikTok version.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
We're working our way up to TikTok famous, guys. Don't worry about it. Although I can't make any money on TikTok because I live in Canada, so it's all YouTube for this guy. You hate to see it. So. But dude,
Bummer.
Dave, thanks for being back, man. Definitely, thanks for being back. Thanks for clarifying that for the folks out there as well. Yeah, if you're seeing on vertical mode, you can switch over to horizontal mode, and it's not a sex position. I promise you guys that. Let's bring out our next panelist here. I didn't realize this man was going to be here. I feel like I've got the luck of the Irish on my side. We got Mr. Shane 1/6 Figure Focus in the house once again. Good to see you, buddy. You look great vertically and horizontally. If it was up to me.
Hey.
I've been told that in the past. I just wonder, sorry, I came on last minute.
That's good to have you.
The whole vertical thing, I'm guessing they're not using AI to track where the face is, because Dave's
Clearly
capitalizing on the rule of thirds there, so he's not in the center, which is so much stylistically. So, they haven't actually caught up where, surely face recognition AI is that advanced where no matter where he puts himself, they should be able to, capture that. Obviously, they haven't got that going on. It's just they're just selecting the middle portion, so Adam is framed well, and you're maybe usually if you don't move, you're framed well now, so mad, eh? But
That's weird.
yeah,
Good to have you back,
I
man.
don't think we don't have to worry about
today.
Skynet for give it another day.
For a little while.
Another day or two.
Like 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. How's life going for you, man?
Good, man. Yeah, good. It's like 4 more school weeks in Christmas, so I said, you know what, I can be a little bit sleepy tomorrow. It's good. So
Be a little bit
so
sleepy.
I said I'd hop on. So yeah, all good, man. All good. All
That's
good.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, guys, we have at least 25 people already here joining us live. Thanks for being here, getting nuts with us on Sunday. On your way in the door, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, just so we can get this stream out to all the folks who got confused by my link dropping off today and all the things. That would be very, very appreciated. But guys, let's jump into some warming up first, because of course it's not Let's Get Nuts without a little entertainment news. I did want to highlight this. We don't have to have much of a discussion on it, but I did see this pop up today. So the trailer for DCU's Supergirl movie is dropping officially next month. This is one that I am excited to see. I know some of the kind of background footage that we've seen, or some of the behind the scenes stuff we've seen, looks like maybe Lobo's in there with Supergirl, jumping around a tank and all that stuff. I thought she had a cool presence at the end of the Superman film, so I am excited to see it. Are you guys trailer folks, though? I think we've had some brief discussion on trailers in the past, but for me, I try to stay away from trailers a lot of the time these days because I feel like they give too much of the movie away. And maybe after all these years of watching movies, my predictability compass is high. I feel like I can kind of forecast what I'm going to see in the movie. But what about you, Adam? Are you a trailer guy, or are you trying to stay away from it at this point?
I love good trailers, and to me, a good trailer doesn't give away the whole plot of the film. If it's a very good trailer, I'm gonna watch that thing like it's the freaking Zapruder film, just over and over again to obsess over every little detail. So if it's like the Superman trailer, I watch that over and over again. I could think of the Star Wars trailers. I remember, to me, 2 trailers that stand out in my mind as ones I obsessed over and over. When that first Batman '89 trailer came out, and then Star Wars, the first teaser trailer for Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
That was a good trailer, man. That was a good trailer.
I just obsessed over those over and over again. Now, if it's something that, unfortunately, too many Hollywood trailers give everything away, and that's disappointing. I'm looking forward to Supergirl. I enjoyed her brief appearance. I like Millie Alcock as Rhaenyra. I can remember how you pronounce her name. Targaryen in House of the Dragon. I actually wish there was more of her in that role.
Same.
I liked her better than the older actress, even though I liked her too. So I'm looking forward to this.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Shane, do you remember, all the movie trailers of back in the day, right? They were all started in a world where superheroes are prime, stuff like that. Do you miss trailers like that still, or do you like the newer school now where it's more of the actual,
what I'm expecting was Supergirl calls Superman a bitch in his own movie. Do you remember that? That's you could. She did call him a bitch. Yeah, so you could get that, if that's what you want. I do remember those trailers, and you know what? They all kind of sounded the same looking back, really. So it's kind of like, yes, some of them now to look back on they're kind of cringy, to be fair.
Yeah. Do you watch
Do I have
trailers
the same
now, though,
question,
or do you
or-
try and stay away from them?
Man, I definitely watch trailers now because it's very rare I see a trailer and I think, man, it's very rare I see a trailer and I go, that trailer's really, really good. I'm really hyped about the movie, and I go see the movie and the movie is terrible. Equally, it's very rare when I see a movie see a trailer that looks terrible, and I go see the movie and it's a masterpiece. It just doesn't really happen. There's very few exceptions. Like, I know you say you can't judge the book by the cover. It's not the same thing as judging a trailer, or judging a movie by a trailer. I would never still do that, but I would still kind of do enough that, okay, that is not doing enough in the trailer for me to to get my money, because the cinema is so expensive these days. It's so expensive, and you're talking to someone who loves going to the cinema. I haven't given up on it. I like the experience. I will always like the experience. I like turning off my phone for 2 hours. Give me a 3-hour movie, I'll still watch it. So, I do watch trailers because I think now more than ever, because the standard, there's just been a few misses in the last few years.
Vet them out a little bit even.
I kind of like to vet them a bit. Now, with that being said, it's not the only data point I would go on. Like, if say 2 or 3 people who I respect their opinion, or maybe we have similar taste, go, no, this is an absolute, that you have to see this movie. I'll pay attention to that. I will pay attention to reviews. But at the end of the day, when I go see it, I make up my own mind. But I'm not really, I'm in no way excited for this.
Because you didn't like the Superman movie that much, right?
Yeah, I didn't like the Superman movie, so that's a major draw against it. I don't know this girl. I haven't seen House of the Dragon. I've heard it's great. I've heard she's great in it. She kind of turned up like a kind of half-drunk college student, called him a bitch, stole his dog, or well, no, it's her dog, and just left. So I'm like, why should I be excited about this? But hey, maybe the trailer is amazing, and maybe this movie is going to be the next greatest thing. But if the trailer is fantastic, maybe I'll go see it. But the odds are stacked against it right now. I haven't read the comic book. I'm not a diehard comic book fan, so I don't even have that, that reason to go see this. Like, I don't read Supergirl comics, so therefore I know nothing about the character really. So maybe that's exactly the way how she's supposed to be portrayed. But from my limited knowledge, the Superman movie or her appearance in it did absolutely nothing for me to entice me to go see this movie. But maybe the trailer will.
Yeah. So
Which
if
is why
you
I watched
don't
the
know
trailer.
so if you don't know any better, maybe not creating a lot of excitement. I did just finish reading her comic book, so I bought it after her appearance in Superman, because I heard that it was going to be like, her story was going to be kind of resembling the Woman of Tomorrow comic, and it was good. I liked it. It was a fun read. A lot more Alien Planet than I was expecting. But like a cool story just the same.
She's
And
got the
her
skirt,
story
right?
is pretty devastating. She's got the skirt. Yeah,
She looks good in the suit.
Her story is
She looks good in the
her
suit.
story is devastating. Honestly, you can see why she might have trouble with substances potentially, depending on how they portray her, at least in this. So we'll see. We will see. Dave, I'm going to save your take on the next one, buddy, unless you got something you really wanted to say on this, because it's in the vein of X-Men. But I will say, I am excited to see Supergirl. I am definitely excited to see what's coming for this film. And I probably will watch the trailer. There are, like Shane said, there are some trailers that for me don't do the movie much justice. I watched the Fall Guy trailer with Ryan Gosling. Didn't love the trailer. Loved the movie. It was an amazing movie, but the trailer didn't do anything for me. The marketing didn't really do anything for me. So sometimes even when a trailer is good, doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie. Sometimes when the marketing's good, still doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie. It just kind of depends. I saw Wicked for Good last night. No spoilers. I enjoyed it. Thought it was fun. But I like the first one for the most part as well. Not a huge musical movie fan, but it was good. It was decent. So maybe I'd get a Wicked Witch figure.
I think a good trailer gets you hyped and gives you a sense of the tone of something. And I tell you what,
100%.
one of the best trailers I've seen recently is for season 5 of Stranger Things, and it came out a couple weeks ago, and it just shows a couple of quick scenes, but it's set to Queen's "Who Wants to Live Forever," which is a freaking awesome song, and it just sets the tone of what you might expect in the final season.
It's interesting because I originally did have a slide up for the show today in terms of predictability scale of who might die and who might live for Stranger Things. But a lot of people still haven't gotten caught up, so I didn't want to give any spoilers away. But maybe like a week or two after the first episode is aired, we'll do that exercise, because
Also, Ben,
I'll be interested. I don't think anybody's safe.
Sorry to cut in, but I've seen a lot of those predictor scales, and I explained, I remember not so long ago that, okay, so Megan was on Facebook and saw this post, and it was like a list of a ranking of different kind of, I don't know, Cadbury's chocolate bars or something like that. We're big into chocolate as a nation. And there was a few things ranked really highly, which were like, no one likes them. And there's a few things ranked that should have been ranked higher, that were ranked lower. I was like, Megan, that is clickbait. That is exactly what they want you to argue. They want you to go on and go, oh my God, no way, a twirl is not number 17. A twirl has to be top 3. That's literally what they're doing. And I think the Stranger Things, the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. We know no one's living forever in this show. And like, I would be willing to bet that I could call 3 people that are not going to make it to the end. I won't say it now, but you know,
Yeah, we'll give it a couple weeks after the first episode goes, and then let's do that exercise, because that's a fun one to think about. In terms of fun exercises, though, in terms of leaks as well in the movie sphere, we got some interesting leaks this last week of some behind the scenes. What it says on the poster on the wall, anyways, is Doomsday set reshoots day 3. My first thought was, is this AI? I don't hope this is not AI, but then it was confirmed by a couple of different people that these are real photos. So I was a little bit more excited to hear, because if you take a nice close look here, anyways, what I'm definitely seeing, or what's standing out to me most, is some of those iconic, you know, X-Men outfits, right? Magneto has the purple in there and in his cloak and everything. He looks like Magneto. Storm and Mystique have their comic inspired look. Same with Beast. And we see Monica Rambeau in there as well, which if you remember the end of, I think, the Captain America 3rd film, hopefully it's not spoilers at this point because it's been out for a really long time, but the end credits scene there was she ends up in the alternate universe, sitting there with Beast from X-Men, right? So that's why she's likely appearing in here. But this is our first kind of look at the X-Men coming over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it looks like they're going to have some comic inspired outfits on, just like our boy Wolverine there did in Deadpool and Wolverine. So quick thoughts on this X-Men. Was this something that got your juices flowing? What are you anticipating seeing here with the inclusion, at least, of X-Men going forward?
Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. This thing sometimes cuts out. I am mixed on stuff like this, because especially today, like, this could very easily be AI. Mm-hmm. And who was it that confirmed it? I haven't heard anyone confirm it officially.
So Patrick Stewart himself actually shared the photo on the right side. So that feels a little bit more confirmed to me than anything else.
But he could be a cheeky guy too, so I don't know, man.
You can.
I don't know. I hope that it's not official, because I would rather see this when it happens. Because I saw this come up and I was like, okay, that one with Mystique and the 3 of them standing there, I'm like, that looks suspect as hell. And I saw the one where they're all, you know, where you got everybody standing behind Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. I'm like, that still kind of looks. And now I'm seeing all these extra ones. I'm like, well, it does look more, you know, it looks a lot less suspicious, I guess. But then I'm looking at.
You gotta look at the hands, right? Do the hands have too many fingers? Are they like Nightcrawler's hand on the one photo up in the top left corner looks like it's kind of weird, but again, hard to tell.
Well, the one where Nightcrawler's sitting down, his head looks weird to me compared to the top left.
He does. It looks like Beast. It almost looks like
exactly
Beast
looks like Beast
Nightcrawler.
Beside. Yep. That's what I thought. Yeah. So I'm hoping that's all this is, because I'd rather see how they look when they show up. I don't want to see too much ahead of everything. Fair. But if this is how they look, this is good. But I don't believe this. I don't believe this until I hear it or I see it. Yeah, it feels too. I don't know. I can't believe anything anymore.
I hate that actually, buddy. I agree. Like the Watcher even says here, the leaker is most likely using AI to show us what they will look like. The pictures themselves don't have to be real, possible, or it's
That
a
could be.
misdirect, right? Maybe these are just AI inspired outfits on top of the actors just wearing regular street clothing, right? Like that could be a thing. It is really hard, but I agree. I hate the fact that now every photo or video I see online, I don't believe any of it anymore because like none of it, and it fakes me out so often. Like I'm clearly getting to that age where I literally can't tell anymore because I'm like I'll show the
Yeah.
girlfriend like hey, check this video out. She'll be like that's literally AI. I'm
And
like,
don't they look a little
oh,
too polished
they
for
do.
behind the
Yeah,
scenes?
they do.
They look a little
do.
too good for behind the scenes
Fair.
shots, I think. I don't know.
Now, in the vein of then, if this is not fake news and this is not AI, would you be excited to see these looks, or do you think this is going too into that realm of like fan service territory?
I think it looks great. I think it's weird having a shaved head Gambit, and maybe they're just putting a wig on him. I don't know. That would be
Probably
weird
wouldn't
too. He doesn't really need a wig, but who knows? Maybe they're doing the whole head piece thing, and so sure. But no, I think these looks are really good. I think this is what we get, and this is great. But I don't know. I'm still. I don't believe it until it happens.
Absolutely. Figurecraft says Nightcrawler's wrong type of hands. There's some good ones here. Mr. Holdbrook says, was Halle Berry confirmed for Doomsday? I think she was, but I can't remember. I think she was. I do think she was. Because it was like Storm is going to be in there. Because then people were asking, like, would we see the return of Toad? Because I think Toad was also part of, what's it called? Deadpool and Wolverine, right? So he was in the background there. So we'll see. But what do you think, Adam? Is this AI? Is this real? If so, if this is real, does it get you excited? If it's AI, does it still get you excited to see what's happening with these folks in the movie?
Yeah, well, this is one of my most, after the Odyssey, this is my most anticipated film of 2026. So, and I think I guess it's people talk about superhero fatigue, Marvel fatigue. I think it's a good sign that people are very excited for the new Avengers film, that there's just a feeding frenzy of posts online about this. I saw one today that it was a leaked trailer. I saw it on X, and someone put together God Loki sitting on a throne with Professor X having Cerebro on, and then Doctor Doom sitting on a throne. And but it's everything's clickbait. I saw this the other day. I think it was actually Robert Meyer Brunette. I first saw him, and he was wondering, is this AI? I don't know. It's so scary that we don't. Sometimes you can tell AI, and you can't even tell. And I guess it just shows you what a feeding frenzy there is for any information or leaks on this new Avengers film. I guess the trailer is going to come out with Avatar in next month. So yeah, I can't wait for this. I don't know if this is real. If it is real, are these what the costumes look like? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Comic accurate depictions. So I'm definitely happy with that. About that.
Yeah, man. Well said. Very, very well said. Fig Poser has a great point here. He says, I'm getting tired of these leaks. The thing that's killing movies is the lack of the art and the surprise. Shane, what do you think on that comment? Because like I agree to a certain extent. If this is a leak and the leak is actually real and this is what they're going to look like, it does take a little bit of the wind out of some people's sails in terms of that anticipation of the surprise. What's it going to be like? Why should I buy the ticket today and see that movie day one if we already know some of these characters are going to be in here? And we had this conversation when they announced the cast list, right? Unlike how we felt with Endgame back in the day when everybody comes out of the portals and it's like, holy crap, like I didn't realize this many cool characters would be here. That was a surprise, and that created cheers in the theater. Are you feeling the way that Fig Poser is now, where sometimes this can actually ruin the surprise for you a little bit?
I see it says reshoot on it. That's not good.
Yeah, right.
That's never a good sign. He reshoots because the first shoots weren't great. Maybe I don't know.
Most films
Maybe
need
they've changed
reshoots.
things.
I think most films need reshoots.
It's still not. It still doesn't inspire me with confidence.
Fair.
I mean, you
That's
mentioned the
baked into
Odyssey
Marvel's
there.
formula.
You mentioned the Odyssey there as well. I mean, I wonder, like, Christopher Nolan doing his reshoots, like, I don't know. Maybe they all do reshoots, but it just seems reshoot these days with the MCU is synonymous with something that ends up not being particularly good. And I am looking forward to this, but I haven't been instilled with a lot of confidence in the MCU in the last few years. There were exceptions. This here, someone mentioned it looks all a bit too picture perfect. I don't know if this is AI or not. I'm in that boat, Ben, when I'm questioning everything these days. I don't know if it's AI. My gut tells me this is actually real, and that the reason it looks so picture perfect is because it is a photo shoot. Because now they're not relying in Endgame. They had set up the story so well with, 15 years, 2008 to Infinity War was 2018. Would that be right? And then Endgame was 2019. So they'd set that up for, like, what's that 2008 to, that's over 10 years really. They'd set up those first few phases. We weren't really at the time. It was exciting to have cameos. We were, make no mistake about it, you were going to Endgame for the story. You wanted to see who died, who if they bring people back or not. Can they defeat Thanos? How are they going to defeat Thanos? How are they going to get out of this one? Because it was a real good cliffhanger, like Empire Strikes Back was. You were going for the story. But these days, the stories, I don't think the audiences are as convinced about the stories. So therefore, they know they've got to lean into these cameos. They've got to lean into these nostalgia. They want to take the risk. Maybe the audiences are dwindling. We know box office numbers are down. So maybe they're like, okay, we can't afford to, like, surprise the audience. We need to say these people are in. The people that, if you're a Fox X-Men fan, they are here. If you were a Gandalf fan, he is in this movie. So it doesn't matter what you're into, it's there. They're packing it in. So the same thing I would say about Deadpool and Wolverine, that was at the time my most anticipated movie, and I said, I don't care who's in it. I don't care about the cameos. Give me a good story, well executed. They executed it well. The story wasn't mind-blowing, but the execution was good enough that it was still really entertaining. But I didn't care to see Blade or Elektra or Gambit. Just did not influence the movie for me in any way. Didn't make it better, didn't make it worse. It was fine. And I know people love that. But this here, my gut tells me this is real. And the reason they're doing this is because they know people maybe aren't as excited. Like, what's going to happen in this movie? Like, in Infinity War, was it clear? We saw it and we went to see Endgame. We're like, oh man, how are they going out of this one? This is so exciting. Which way is the story going to zig or zag? But now it's just like, I have no idea what's going on in this movie. Robert Downey Jr.'s in it and everybody else. So,
yeah. And the only tease we've even seen of Doom really is at the end of Fantastic Four. Not everybody saw that movie necessarily or loved it, so it didn't necessarily create excitement.
It wasn't a bad movie.
As much. I loved it.
It was
I
entertaining.
had a great time with
It was
Fantastic
entertaining.
Four.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
it was entertaining.
Yeah, it was
look at
fantastic.
you.
Wow.
Boom, boom, psh.
To cap this, though, I would say it's hard to know what is real, what is not these days. Usually our boy, Jose Plus can tell us whether something is fake or not. But I think even Jose doesn't necessarily have that same meter these days. But if a guy like Patrick Stewart is sharing this, he either is playing the long game and wants to see everybody go crazy on this, or it's a legit photo. So it's hard to say. But if these are the outfits, if this is going to be the look, it does get me excited. For all we know, though, they're going to pull a multiverse of madness with us. These suits are going to be in the movie for 5 minutes before these characters get killed and replaced by the real X-Men team. Like, who knows? But you know what? Any conversation around this is exciting for me. It does get my juices flowing. I'm excited to see what they do going forward.
Ash Chase does bring up a good point. I think it's a legitimate point. Russo brothers, to be fair, like they've more hits than misses. Like for the MCU movies that they've done, that's a solid point. Yeah, that is a solid point.
All 4 of them have been bangers that they've done in the MCU.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, guys, let's move on. But great thoughts on that. I wanted to quickly address this. So if any of you guys know me well, Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64 is and always will be my favorite video game of all time. It is truly what brought the love of the Zelda franchise forward for me. I've enjoyed games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and stuff like that, but we're now getting a chance to get at least a quick look here at what Princess Zelda and Link are going to look like in terms of their casting. And I gotta say, I think they absolutely nailed the Link character. At least, he's an interesting physical look to Link, and he has to have a youthfulness to him without him looking too feminine. Like it's interesting. I think they've captured it well with this actor. I'm not as sold on the Zelda actress, if I'm honest. I know that there was speculation at one point that other person, I can't remember what her name was now. I think she's transitioned. I think she was maybe a male and now she's female. I think from the
Hunter
I can't remember
Schafer.
what show. Hunter Schafer, yeah. I think she'd been fan cast at one point. I thought she looked like a Princess Zelda, but I know that was creating a lot of controversy, so I'm sure that didn't help necessarily. But I think this is a beautiful girl. I don't think she necessarily looks like Princess Zelda to me, but who cares? If the story is really good, I'm excited to see what they can do with this. Now, my question for you guys is, A, are you excited at all about a Zelda movie, or is this like, do you have to have played the games? And do you think Link is going to talk? Because in a lot of games, he doesn't talk much. There are some games where he does talk a little bit, but it would be weird, in my opinion, to have a whole movie with a character who just goes, ha, and doesn't actually say anything. So don't clip any of that, by the way, guys. I see you all out there. Hannah, what about you, buddy? Are you a Zelda fan? Is this some movie that you'd be excited to see? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I have the Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. I actually go back to the original Legend of Zelda. That was one of the first games I got for the original OG Nintendo. One of my favorite games of all time. I've been saying for a long time that I'm surprised they haven't made a movie out of this, and I'm excited to see this. I'd imagine he's going to talk in the film. It'd be kind of weird if he was a silent character.
It would be weird, yeah. It would be weird. What is your favorite game of all time, Adam? I don't know if I've ever asked you.
Ooh, my favorite video game of all time. Probably the Star Wars arcade game from the 1980s. In terms of an arcade game, in terms of a home game, GoldenEye for the
N64.
That was for the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably GoldenEye for the home console and the original Star Wars for arcade.
Very good choices. Very good choices. What's your favorite video game of all time? 1-6-figure focus.
I'm not a gamer, man, at all.
I know.
I know. Very little.
That's why I asked. Have you ever had a game that's hit you?
San Andreas was great.
Hey, there you go.
I typically didn't. People love games for real gamers. They kind of love games, I suppose, for the game. The only reason I ever got a game is because typically there was a game of a movie that came out that I wanted to play. For example, Enter the Matrix. I did get that, cleared that back in the day, about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Not a particularly great game, but fun to play. It was a Batman Begins game as well. And at the time I got San Andreas, but it was obvious that, okay, this is an actual better game than any of them. I just liked those other two games because I liked the movies that they were based on. So not a gamer at all. Blown away by the graphics and the kind of stories and stuff that these modern games have. I know I would enjoy The Last of Us or those Spider-Man games, but no, I'm not a gamer, and I don't know anything about Zelda, so none.
Not getting your juices flowing. No. Interesting. The Watcher says Twilight Princess is his personal favorite Zelda game. Great game. Definitely a great game. Travis says he's got to say, excuse me, princess. Yeah, for sure. This format is throwing me off. I can't see the full chat. Fig Poser, there is a horizontal option as well. So you should be able, I don't know, Dave, you said you can just pick one of two options.
Yeah, when you go and search it up on YouTube, or I think even if you go to the page directly, you'll see two different streams, and it doesn't differentiate which is which. You just gotta kind of, trial and error it.
Going forward, I'll only do the horizontal view. It said this was the recommended choice today. I'm gonna leave it, but next time I'll just do the horizontal view, so it's not confusing for people. So, but yeah, so you just go to the main page. You should be able to click the different.
Yeah, you should see two of them.
Hell yeah. Brick Artemis here in the chat. He says Mario, Kingdom of Hearts, Halo, Gears shaped his life. That is some high praise.
Nice.
I loved Gears back in the day too. GoldenEye is the goat, dude. I agree with you on that one, Mr. Burlier Dad Life as well. So I'm excited for this. I will give it a chance. I worry in a way, like, so a lot of people really like the Lord of the Rings films and games technically, but the Lord of the Rings films. And then when Amazon Prime did their Lord of the Rings spin-off television show, I watched the first season of that, and I personally really did not like it, even though I loved the Lord of the Rings series. Now, I did hear that the second season of that show got significantly better, and I just never gave it a chance, if I'm honest. But I'm a little worried Zelda will fall flat in terms of its ability to create really good movie content. Having said that, there's a broad history of what they could do here, and the visuals, the action, there could be a lot of good. So I don't think it's going to be lukewarm. I feel like it's either going to be great or it's going to be terrible. I'm not expecting it to be somewhere on the in-between for me. But maybe it's just because, again, I've got high hopes and I don't want to be let down. So, guys, let us know if you're excited for Zelda coming to the big screen. Last but not least, in terms of entertainment news, and then we're going to move into all of the 6 scale because we get lots of 6 scale to talk about today. Turns out there may be a new live action TMNT movie officially now in the works. And I was curious because, we've seen TMNT, right? These turtles that are on the screen right now are the Michael Bay turtles. And I didn't hate those movies, but they didn't have the same love I had for the 90s films. But even the 90s films, like only really like the first one was great. The second, The Secret of the Ooze, as a kid, I loved, but doesn't hold up for me as much as an adult. But like those were kind of the movies that I really liked, and I liked the darker aspect to the Turtles of that first 90s film, the kind of the grunge feel to it. I also liked the aesthetics of the turtle costumes at that time. I thought they looked good. As a kid, I was always impressed by them, but I still think they hold up. I think they look great. Seeing the CGI monstrosities that the Michael Bay Turtles became, I didn't like the look of that. So I'd be curious from you guys, if you are TMNT fans, like, what do we feel like we need out of a TMNT movie going forward? Do we want it to be more adult and more in line with, The Last Ronin, or like more of the adult kind of graphic novels of the Turtles? Or are we still liking the kind of younger take on the Turtles that we've got from some of the cartoons and all of that there? What about you, Adam? Do you have any thoughts on the Ninja Turtles and the history?
I had some of the original comics when they were out in the 80s, and I watched the cartoon, and I had like those first Playmates action figures. I liked the first movie, and of course, Go Ninja Go by Vanilla Ice, the greatest rap song of all time, undisputed. Sure. I'm not a huge fan now. It's kind of there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff from that era that I'm still, you ask me, what do you listen to? Same music I listened to in the 80s and 90s today.
Sure.
What are your favorite movies? Same movies I liked back then. This actually is not one of the IPs that I'm still interested in. I'm just never carried it over to my kind of older adulthood.
Sure.
But, I have respect for the franchise. Probably not something I'd be interested in if it came out. But I know there's a lot of fans out there for them. But back in the day, I was into it.
Do you think that they should go more live action like Suits? Honest Hansel here says TMNT movie has to have real suits, no CGI or AI. Do you think that that's even realistic nowadays? Or do you think that's some kind of hybrid of both, like we saw with The Thing and Fantastic Four, for example?
I think I would imagine you can do a hybrid with motion capture. If you do the Andy Serkis route, or the Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks. I don't want to. I like Jar Jar, but not everyone does. But that idea of the motion capture suit, or like we saw in the recent Planet of the Apes movies, and then you do CGI on top of that, so it's a real person doing the movement, the voices, the acting per se. I think that could be done. The suits, I don't know if that, will that fit into what the modern expectations are of a movie? I don't know. Maybe. I can't definitively say no. It could be done right, but I tend to think something would be done with motion capture is probably the way they would end up going.
Absolutely. We got Loco Lou here with us. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. And I know Loco Lou is one of our TMNT experts in the community. So I'm happy he got a chance to get his take in here. He says, I believe that the TMNT movies should have a level of realism with some CGI elements into it. Just make it cohesive visually, but also has to have a great story and suitable for adults. I think that that's very, very well put, because I know that that was the debate on the thing as well for Fantastic Four, right? We've seen the movie kind of suit up looks from past films that looked a little janky now. They don't hold up as well. But then we've seen the CGI monstrosity of that last Fantastic Four series before this new one, which didn't look great. I think this new thing had a good blend of both to make it more realistic. But yeah, no, I'd be that's a great thought, buddy, for sure. He says, because we're asking for the movies, not the children, and I think that's the thing, right? Like TMNT has been able to stay relevant for at least my entire life, and beyond my age. But those true fans are aging up. We're all getting to be, a lot of us anyways, I shouldn't say we all, but a lot of us are getting into our 30s and 40s and 50s, right? So I don't want it to be too childish in terms of a film. But I don't need it to take itself too seriously either. The Turtles are still supposed to be freaking fun, right? And there's got to be a good balance of both. Dave or Shane, do you guys have any thoughts on TMNT before we move on to figure news?
No. I was, had the toys when I was kids. I watched the cartoon, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 was the first movie I ever saw in the cinema, which was kind of cool. But they never carried into my adulthood. It's not something that I revert back to, not something I collect. So I think the last time I watched a Turtles anything was in the late 80s, 90s, the actual original cartoon. So
no, that's fair. That's fair. What about you, Dave? Any thoughts on Turtles?
I think that the liberties taken by Michael Bay, for me, are a bit of a scar on the Turtles. I absolutely despise that whole thing there, and we carry on some of that DNA through more recent iterations too, which also not a fan of. I like the Turtles that they can span generations, but I realized it wasn't for me, and it wasn't for the larger demographic of Turtles fans who really grew up with it. But the whole Mutant Mayhem thing, fuck that. Fuck every bit of that.
Didn't like it?
Absolutely not. I saw the trailer and I was like, let's see, Donatello has a little girl's voice. We got all these crazy. There's so many little things I can nitpick about what I saw that I was like, no. It was immediate no for me. But that's for kids too. I get it. But I think we need to see a return to form for the Turtles. We need to get away from the crap that they're doing now, and we need a new Turtles movie that is what the Turtles at their core really are, but isn't playing too much to, the ridiculousness that we see from stuff like the Mayhem movie or the whatever the fuck Michael Bay was doing. It needs to just be the Turtles being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like they were in the 90s, like they were in the 80s. And something that can work for, a more mature audience that doesn't alienate the younger audience.
For sure.
Because it shouldn't, they have a lane that they exist in by dint of their name. And I think we can all appreciate it based on that. So I think we shouldn't make them all childlike in the way that they did with this most recent one. I don't think we need to worry about all the bright colors and the zany bullshit. We need to make them turtles. They live in the friggin' sewer. They're ninjas. They're hardcore as hell. They have fun, and that's build on that. Let that be, the North Star of the idea, and that's enough. I think that's good.
Dilo the Collector says, but X-Men, Megan Fox as April O'Neil. How could you hate that? She was good to look at, I will say. Again, no knock there.
But also,
but no.
Like she
No,
was
no,
great in Transformers, but no, I need a different April O'Neil.
She's some girl to ride a bike.
Yeah, yeah.
X-Men and Shane when asked about the turtles.
How about new?
I hate to see it. I hate to see it. I also just like to think, like in terms of like I love the '90s film. Don't get me wrong, it's so good, and I thought like the story, I thought it was dark at the right level, but fun at the right level. I don't know if people would take those types of suits seriously anymore, though. You know what I mean? Like back then, that was some pretty
Probably
crazy,
not.
awesome technology. I think if we saw that on the screen now, people wouldn't take it seriously and they'd laugh at it. And so there has to be some level of hybridness, I think, to the look, or it will just look wonky as hell. But I've seen some folks in the chat saying, the Last Ronin series was amazing. I haven't read them all, so I'm not as familiar. But honestly, I feel like it looks like might be in the darker vein that people would want, at least in terms of adults. And in terms of collectibles, let's be honest, even back to the X-Men conversation we were having, or the Zelda conversation, there are some IPs that are coming over the next couple of years here that I think will really inspire, potentially, if they're good at least, some new collectors or some pre-existing collectors to get excited about what their displays could look like, especially if these end up being good films at the very, very least. Ash Chase says, Megan Fox is not that hot anymore after Botox. Nope, plastic doll. You hate to see it. Actually, didn't she was in a movie recently where she actually played an AI, or like a robotic person, kind of like a Megan doll. But the whole point of the movie was she was just trying to seduce the husband and this family. And I was like, man, it was a bad movie. It was not good. It was not good.
Megan doll.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. Yeah, you hate to see it. So yeah, not a good movie.
I do think Local Lou raised a good point that I think is not just applicable to the Turtles franchise, but to a lot of the franchises that we were into when we were kids. It's some of these things that I think in many cases the children now are just not into, or they're not into the same level that we were back in the day. Star Wars is one of them. I'm not so sure the kids now are as into Star Wars. There are some kids who are into Star Wars, sure, not the levels back in the prequels or the original trilogy era. And Turtles might be one of those as well. And I think there's kind of this push and pull between the older fans who want stories that are more mature versus the studios who they have this IP, they want to keep making money on it, and they're thinking, well, if we just cater to the old people, quote unquote, I'm not saying we're old people, but the over 30, over 35 crowd, then ultimately that's a money loser. So we need to get new customers, because
we
it's
need
not
to sell toys,
them,
right?
This is about the merchandise. It ain't about the whether it's Star Wars, Turtles, Marvel. It's about selling lunchboxes and action figures and T-shirts and you name it. So,
but it's interesting you say that, because last week we were talking about Funko, right? And we were talking about Funko Pops dying and everything. And I think that there's like this whole element of this newer generation now that don't care about collecting even toys the same way that like our generation as kids did, right? Like back then for us, we didn't have the screens, the TikToks and all that stuff. I feel like people nowadays, younger people, and this is a generalization, this might not be the case across the board, but like I feel like a big portion of the younger generation now would rather make content on TikTok than go to the store and physically collect a toy, right? And so like we've all grown up as being kids that collected toys and thought they were fun. As adults now, we want to collect even better ones, right? But I think it's also part of the reason that we're even seeing engagement of anything that's longer than 15 minutes go off the rails when it comes to either YouTube or movies. Like, as I said, I sat in the theater last night. There had to have been 10 people in that movie that just were scrolling their Facebooks or whatever they scroll during the actual movie. It's like, why even show up? Why spend the money? Like, what doesn't make any sense to me. But like, again, the attention span is just not there anymore. Man. And Local Lou's right. It's not the kids that are asking for TMNT to make a return. It's the adults saying, hey, it's been a while since we had a good series like this. Where are they? What's happening with the turtles at this point? So, and I liked Mutant Mayhem. I didn't have any problem with it, but I recognized watching it that it was meant for the kids. I think it was less meant for adults, but there was still some Easter eggs in there that I had fun with. The Michael Bay turtles, not as much, but even the figures of the Michael Bay turtles were still pretty cool figures, I will say. So I did like those, but no, great thoughts, guys. Great thoughts. I want to do some quick housekeeping. If you guys are watching for the first time or you're returning as a viewer, of course, we do have our Classy Nut channel membership. By the way, everybody who is a Nut King, so I received most of my envelopes that I sent out 3 months ago back in the mail. They got returned to sender from Canada Post. So I'm going to resend them all out this week. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, you guys will have your Nut King stickers. I apologize it's taken so long on the Canada Post side there. But if you guys are channel members, there is the membership link pinned to the chat. We'd love to have you be one of us. That way I can read your names at the end of the show, as well as having the credits roll with your name on it on all the Ben Thomas Show episodes that get aired, of course. But guys, as we always do at the halfway point, before we get into 6 scale news, let's say hi to the chat.
Is that everyone? I keep wanting more.
Nuts!
Assemble.
Nuts assemble. We have Mr. Mark P in the chat with us. Hey, are you good, sir? Hope you're doing well, my friend. We got Doug Guito in the chat with us as well. Good to see you, buddy. Batman_collectibles. Hello, Ben and panelettes. Lots of good stuff to discuss this week. Hell yeah, dude. We're going to get into that here in the next hour. So stick around. Mr. Jagron 2, Mr. Lane Kramer. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Blurred Dad Life. Let's get nuts. Good to see you. One of our great channel members as well. Mr. Philly Figurecraft with some amazing cave displays. I'm excited for your collection tour here soon, buddy. Keep us posted. The Mr. Jedi Knights Watch. Once again, just as a reminder, Adam, myself and I, wow, my 3 personalities that I carry around with me all the time, will be on Wolfpack Wednesday this week. So don't miss that show as well with the boys over there. And I believe it's the American Thanksgiving that day. Real Thanksgiving happened in Canada in October, but I'll still show up either way and hold a turkey up for you guys. For your Thanksgiving celebrations. We got Mr. 1 Adam 12 in the channel and in the panel and on the membership. Love to see it. Always happy to have you here, buddy. Mr. Viking Collectibles with us as well. Good evening, everyone. Have a great show. Thanks for that, buddy. 1-6 Figure Focus, our Irish compadre here, our friend, Mr. Shane. Love to see you, buddy. Having you here as always. Mr. Geo, the movie canon. Good to see you, buddy, as well. And if you're missing it, Friday night, I believe, still is the slot for Mr. Geo's movie canon show. So do not miss that. X-Men Supreme with us, of course, on the channel, on the panel, and on the membership. One of our Nut Kings, waiting for his stickers patiently. You love to see it. Mr. Jose Plus in with us as well. Good to see you, buddy. You should read the comic, Shane. It's loosely based on True Grit. Not sure which one that one was in relation to, but good to have you here either way, buddy. The Watcher, 9500. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Let's see here. Honest Hansel in the chat with us. Seen the Running Man last night, of course. Not as good as the OG movie, but still enjoyed it. I'm excited to see it. I don't have that much of a love for Glenn Powell yet, though. He hasn't done anything for me that I'm like, oh, I have to see him in his next movie. He just hasn't quite got to that leading man status yet, but I'll check that out. I like the original Running Man. King Dingaling in the chat with us. It's the feels, but the fact that AI is real. I've grown up skeptical of things I see on social media. Back with regards to, of course, the X-Men discussion we had. Mr. Luis, Pop Culture Relics PCR in the chat with us. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here as always. Mr. Holdbrook in the chat, of course, and saying here, was Halle Berry confirmed for Doomsday? I believe that she was. Figure Poser, what up, though? Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. And thanks for sticking around, guys, while we say hi to everybody. Definitely appreciate your patience. Brick Artemis in the chat. I heard Brick isn't going to be here on Wednesday when we are on with Wolfpack, unfortunately, Adam. So hate to see it. Hopefully he's doing something fun with his family either way. I'm going to be going out and buying the Lego Enterprise D set on Friday this coming week, which I'm very, very excited for.
Nice.
By the way. So everybody told me I should be there at like 7 o'clock in the morning. But I'm like, it's going to be one of those things that like either everybody shows up for this set and it's gone in minutes, or nobody shows up and I got up way too early to go stand in line for an Enterprise. I can't quite decide which one it is, but I don't really
Where
feel
they
like
selling
missing
it near
for
you?
the weekend. It's a
Where
it's
they
like a
selling
Lego
there?
store in the mall.
Oh,
Near
okay.
us. So like maybe I don't know. I don't know what the
Godspeed.
I don't know how many sets they're even gonna have. They wouldn't tell me. I couldn't do a pre-order. Like there's nothing. So it's kind of weird. But Cliff
They're doing
Strayer
this
in the
Black
chat
Friday?
with us. It's on the
They're doing it
Black Friday.
Oh,
Black Friday.
Godspeed.
So yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to the mall that early, but I also want to spend the whole weekend doing Lego, right? So it sounds fun. Viking Collectibles here with us. Could these photos be could these photos, if fake, also then take away from what they actually do end up looking like in the film, if they aren't comic accurate? Yeah, like if we get our hopes up here for this and then it's something different and we're like, oh, that's not as cool as that AI photo, that would actually suck. You're not wrong. Travis Molitar 86 here with us says, he has to say, excuse me, Princess. 100%, dude. Blair Dad Life with us here as well, also agreeing that GoldenEye is the GOAT. Almost through everybody here. Want to make sure I don't miss anybody. We got Loku Lu, as we said here in the chat. Ash Chase with us as well. Good to see you here, everybody. Thank you so much. We've got over 60 people watching live with us right now, guys. Again, if you don't mind hitting the like button for me, that'd be really appreciated, just to get that stream out to everybody. Valkyrie Magnus, our boy in the chat, the younger Rock. Let's be honest, he's the younger Rock now. You love to see it. Ron E in the chat with us as well. Ronnie is always so generous. He's set up a lot of people with guest memberships over the last little while. So, dude, thank you so much again for always being so generous for that. And that's everybody. Guys, let's move on with the freaking show here. Really quick, because I know we don't have a ton of Star Trek fans in the chat, but I did see Mr. Nanjin Tam, the developer of Exo 6, post these up on his Facebook this week. We are looking at Captain 7 of 9 on the left-hand side, looking like potentially her appearance of actually, I guess technically she might be first officer in this photo, but this would be Picard season 3, her appearance in Picard season 3, where she's the first officer for at least the first half of that season, and then it's alluded to that she could have her own captainship in the future. So I would imagine this is first officer 7 of 9 as of right now on the left hand side. The outfit and the body looks really weird. It looks like she's got her head on a male body almost, like it's proportionally it does not look good, but it's supposed to be a tease, so it's supposed to get people excited if you're a Star Trek fan. And then of course Chief O'Brien on the right hand side, sporting two different looks. Now I'm a Chief O'Brien fan, I will say. I think he's a staple for the most part, especially honestly in Deep Space Nine and Star Trek The Next Generation, so both looks. But I'm still waiting on, like, Counselor Deanna Troi, for example, or a TNG Worf specifically, or some of these others that haven't come yet. So while my excitement level is medium for Chief O'Brien, I'm still kind of holding off to see what the photos will look like. But hopefully they're better photos than the standard. Adam, I know you're the other Star Trek fan here on the panel anyways. Any thoughts here on these two being teased?
I loved Picard season 3. That's probably a pass for me, though, because I got to have some limits. I love Deep Space Nine, but the one I if it looks good, when the final photos are out, I might pick up this Chief O'Brien with his Next Generation look. That I'd be interested in. I know you just got the Dr. Crusher, and I have that on order from Sideshow. I'm paying it off over the next 2 months or so. So I'm collecting the bridge crew for the Next Generation. So this he's technically not the bridge crew, but this one I'd be interested in getting the Next Generation version.
I mean, with all the bases that we get that have the transporter pad set up, I mean, if you could 3D print some kind of transporter station to put beside some of those bases, you could technically kind of make a transporter pad display, which could also be really, really cool. Depending, just as a way to display these guys in your setup. So, and of course you need Chief O'Brien at the con there. So interesting options here. I would be excited to see what these look like going forward. But we did miss, I think it was last week, I think it was 2 weeks ago that we did our last show. So last time we all chatted, at the time we'd seen the Predator Badlands tease of Dek and Thea, but we didn't really know necessarily what they were coming with. Now I will say, I'm going to use a little bit more spoiler talk at this point for these guys. So if you haven't seen this film, we're going to be on this subject for probably the next 7 to 8 minutes. Feel free to stick around, but I want to talk a little bit about what I thought these figures might come with. that they didn't. So there's a little bit of spoileriness in here. You've been warned. Deck and Thea are now shown, and I will say that I am actually super excited for these figure set. I think they both look really good. I will also say that I do agree with the collectors out there who have said, at least with some of the side-by-side comparisons, the Deck looks a little on the pink side in comparison to how dark complexion he is in the film, as well as his eyes. They don't have that same yellow glow that they did seemingly in the film itself. But what I had said last time we talked about this, boys, was that I very much expected that the make or break for this figure for me would be the Thea likeness. If the Thea looked like a shitty accessory just on the back of Deck, would I still be as excited about collecting this? And I was happily wrong in what I thought she was going to turn out like. I think she looks freaking amazing. And considering the difference from the single pack of Deck and the call it 1.5 pack with Deck and Thea is only, I think, about a $60 difference. I mean, this is just right in the line with an additional accessory price, but you basically get a whole other figure along with this for your display. I think this looks great. She does have the rolling eye system as well, or the swap out eyes with the Wayland Yutani eyes. So I think that's really, really fun. Overall, I'm impressed with this. Now, I didn't pre-order this day one. This isn't a dopo for me. I think I still have to see the movie at least one more time before I decide if I'm going to display it. But they do look really freaking great. So now that these have been teased, I know some of you guys have had some thoughts on this already, so we can keep this one brief to keep moving on to the newer news. But Adam, once we finally saw what these looked like, what was your excitement level? Or where'd you land on this?
I think it looks awesome. I still haven't seen the movie yet. So
you still haven't seen it, eh? Okay.
I haven't. Something came up, so I didn't have a chance to see it last weekend. And at this point, I'm just going to wait for it to come on Apple. I'll just, spend the $20 and buy it on Apple. Sure. I'm sure it'll be out there in a week or two. But I look forward to seeing it. I got to make my decision after I see it, and it sits on me. But I think it looks awesome. I mean, I think they nailed the likeness to, again, not having seen the film, but just being a fan of Elle Fanning. I think they nailed the likeness.
Right. Especially considering how bad that ballerina figure likeness was. Like only like a week earlier than this. That was so bad. It was so bad. And then this is like, yeah, she looks amazing. Gotta definitely admit. Shane, have you seen Predator Badlands yet?
I have.
What was your thoughts on this?
Didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Oh yeah, I think we talked about it briefly.
It's not a good Predator movie.
You're with Dean on that one.
Yeah, oh man, I think Dean Knight, or it's not Dean Knight, Dean the Dream. I'm only joking. Dean the Dream, I think is the closest. His opinion is the closest that I felt anyone has to express my opinion. So like I don't think it's a terrible movie. Like I didn't hate it or anything like that, but I just don't think it's a good Predator movie. So therefore, I have no interest in this. They did nail the likeness of Elle Fanning. The only thing is she has light blue eyes, and they've given her brown eyes or darker eyes. I'm completely agree with you. His complexion in the movie was darker brown, and he looks kind of more lighter reddish pink in this. It's undeniable. And yeah, his eyes should be more piercing yellow. Harrison, Viking Collectibles, did some really good mock-ups and put them up on a story there last week, where he just darkened the skin tone of this here and put the eyes a bit more yellow, and it looked so much better and more accurate to what we saw on the screen. In the same way, Elle Fanning, he just changed the eyes to give her the eye color she has, which is kind of like a lighter blue. But this is cool if you really, really like the movie, as in that whole, like you said, a 1.5 pack. It's not that often we see this type of thing. Chewie and disassembled C-3PO comes to mind. But if you love the movie, this is a great thing to see coming. But yeah, not for me.
Not for you. This is one of the photos that we looked at last week. Just in terms of comparison. And, I had some of the guys push back on me on Collecting Weekly even to say,
they are
if you
wrong.
Really look at it closely.
You are right. I listened to it. You were right. They are wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I was trying to be sensitive in my approach, but I also feel like when I look at them side by side like this, there are quite a few tweaks that could definitely be made, both in the complexion, the eyes, even the hair, some of the shape of the face, the shape around the jaw. There is some things that could be to be dialed in here. When you don't have the direct comparison, I think it looks pretty decent. But I still felt like it felt like a Predator movie. I know I think you and Dean the Dream made great points on the fact that, like, hey, you know what? It's Disneyfied a little bit. It's a little light. It's a little fun. It's a little funny at times. The mystery of the Predator being just this like killing machine is taken away a little bit. But I still felt there were elements of that. I just wanted to see more of their civilization and how they've come to be and what they are. So I think there was some coolness here. What I said at the beginning was there was going to be a little bit of spoileriness. This is the only real spoilers then I'll say, because I don't want to give it away for Adam either. But I mean, Deck has at least two different looks in this film, kind of his third act look and the first act look. This is certainly more in the vein of the first act look. So I wouldn't be totally surprised if we saw another representation of Deck at some point with his kind of final outfit on and some of the accessories that he would come with for some of that final third act scene, which I think would be pretty cool, as well as there are more elements of Elle, Fanning's character, or Thea's character, that kind of pop up at the end of the film that are missing from this set. So I'd be curious to see if we get more accessories for her down the line potentially as well. Also, if they put this much work into the Elle Fanning likeness, is there a chance that we get to see her sister, which is in the trailers, her sister, but also one of the big bads of the film, right? Are we gonna get her, or is this it? Is this gonna be a one and done set? This is your Predator Badlands set, take it or leave it and move on. Guys, let me know in the chat if you think that that's the case. Are we gonna see more from Predator Badlands in terms of 6 scale, or is this just the beginning? Just the beginning. Let's take a look here next. This popped up for us this week. We're looking at Inart collectibles now. Now, let's be honest. I mean, I think oversaturation and collecting fatigue is a real thing in our hearts. Right now, the economy is tough for a lot of folks. So, if we're still 6-scale collectors, if we've been able to weather the storm of the economy piece, then we still often have to be smart with our money and smart with our purchasing decisions. We have to be smart with our collecting space, right? Like, we only have so much collecting real estate. And so how do we use up our space? What characters do we need to have in our displays? And is it worth the money? Now, as of right now, I don't think that the dollar amount's been posted for this yet, so I apologize if it has. I haven't seen it yet. The speculation was somewhere in the 300 to 430 range. What's her name? Not Captain America. My apologies. Their Wonder Woman was $430, which is in the same vein in terms of how many accessories, body type, likeness, hair rooting, all of those things. So I can imagine somewhere between 380 or to 430 from Inart. Now, the real question, though, is that we haven't even seen an Inart Batman yet. And Inart Batman, I feel like people would scream oversaturation because there's been so many representations of the Bale Batman that have existed. But in my heart, I still haven't been fully happy with any of them yet. I think the most recent set from Hot Toys is getting to be the closest, but there's still elements of it that I didn't love. So I was excited to see what Inart would do in terms of Christian Bale Batman. And they've jumped right over Batman, right into Catwoman here, Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. And I will say, she does look way better than the Hot Toys representation. I had the Hot Toys 2.0. We talked about the Alex Murphy effect privately at one point there, Shane. That Hot Toy definitely had the Alex Murphy effect, where it very much looked like her hair was rooted in the back of her skin face, which was really, really strange, depending on the angle you were at. I think Inart has done an incredible job here, at least from these prototype photos, of making this look like a real person. And I think they've nailed or captured, at the very least, Anne Hathaway's unique look, her skin complexion, what she looked like. I think it's all there. I guess just a real question is, do we really need to spend this much money with the Inart on Catwoman? Is she still relevant enough? Or have we moved beyond this character? How popular do you think this is? And if she does well, are we going to see Batman? Are we going to see Bane? Are we going to see some of these other characters as well? So, Shane, I'll go to you first, buddy, because I know you're a big Dark Knight fan. Was this news that you got really excited about, and what are your responses to some of those questions and thoughts?
Do we need it? Well, that's down to the individual. I do. I watched The Dark Knight today.
Nice.
It was my birthday last week, and Megan got me the 4K.
So I missed it. Happy birthday. Happy
steelbooks.
belated, man.
Oh, thanks very much. They kind of lose their effect after 21, but I appreciate you saying it.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, especially when you're literally 2 times 21 on your latest
Everybody
birthday.
in the chat say happy birthday
Yeah,
to Shane,
yeah.
okay? If you missed it, yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you my PayPal detail, friends and family. Yeah. She got me the latest Dark Knight trilogy in 4K, but it's steelbooks, so the container is steel, and all their steelbooks. There's 3 steelbooks inside. It was actually 4, but one of them is for like special features and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. So I watched the Batman Begins yesterday, and I watched the Dark Knight today, and I had a really, really good watch. So I'll inevitably watch this during the week. So yeah, everyone, you see, if it's something you're into, you don't think it's unsaturated. Like, I recognize they make a lot of stuff. Like Hot Toys make a lot of stuff in the Dark Knight. My default setting is I'm interested in going to take a look, but I don't necessarily need to get everything from it. I have got neither armory because Inart, when they did their first ever figure, that sculpted and rooted 2-pack Heath Ledger Joker, they said they were going to do a Bale Batman. They specifically said they were going to do the DX19 style suit, the second style of suit he has in the trilogy, and then they've leapfrogged over and just not done it. Like, they've done a 12K version. They leaked a unpainted kind of like a resin sculpt of the Christian Bale look, and it had at the bottom part was the kind of, I think he was wearing the neck piece from the suit, like the DX19 suit. So they need to do this, and they need to be doing this quickly, like as in just put it up, shoot your shot, because I'm kind of going, surely they're going to do a Bale, like a Bruce Wayne and a Batman, so then I can go, right, this is the best representation, and I can just pick that up, like, because that's what I plan on doing. Because it's hard to look at that, the Armory 2.0. I'd still kind of want that, even though like the Bruce Wayne sculpt looks a bit weathered or whatever. Like,
there was too much green in the armor for me too. The carbon fiber bits.
Yeah, it was a
like
strange
presented
choice,
as like
man.
a greenish yellow to me, and I don't love that. I know what they were trying to go for, but it was the deterrent for me.
Yeah,
for that.
And I don't have it on pre-order, but like it's it's kind of get sick of waiting as well. Like, I do think I do really like that armory, but this is coming home. I typically don't cancel figures, Ben. I kind of weigh things up, and I really think before I pull the trigger in a pre-order. Like, I typically like put things onto a wish list, and I let them sit there for a few weeks, sometimes even months, and then I batch pre-order things. That's typically how I do it. Like, but I had this on pre-order, and I cancelled it, and I don't cancel things. I just saw how it turned out, and I went, nope, that is not a 2.0. It's not even a 1.5. There's a lot more wrong with it than there is right with it, and I'd be just getting it because I like the trilogy and getting it as a stand-in. This, what you see on the left, I find it's a prototype. If the prototype translates to the final product, which Inart, they have a very good track record, let's be honest, it's going to absolutely blow the 2.0 and the 1.0 out of the water in pretty much every category. The proportions, I'm guessing the materials aren't pleather, because the 1.0 disintegrated from what I understand. The routing, definitely. The likeness, this is very exciting to me. If I was to critique, I kind of wish they'd stuck with the magnet bases, but look, they're not. They've moved on, so we need to move on from them. The cross grabber is a strange choice. Just make it black, because it's very obvious. Like, it's weird, like the positioning of it. Like, it's grabbing her. It literally is grabbing her in the crotch, and it's very, very obvious that it doesn't blend in. Just make that part black. Yeah.
Well, and like, doesn't really come with a lot either, in a very boring floor display. Like, it looks like she's walking at the airport. Like,
you know what? I'm okay with that.
This.
I think the base is simple, tasteful, and elegant.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a big, obnoxious diorama with bloody cats.
Chains and all the stuff.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It's fine.
With cats.
It's simple. It's a small footprint. I kind of like it. But I'd wish that they stuck with the magnetic bases, and if they're gonna do what would have been better on this, a very small ankle grabber, a very like they have on the Arthur Fleck from their 4-pack when he's on the steps. They've got this tiny little. It's only a small. It's about like 1.5 inches tall, and it's just a little ankle grabber, and they could have it black, and you never see it, and it wouldn't ruin the immersion. So that's one thing. Next thing, if you can go to one of her unmasked face or unmasked the one on the left, keep going. Go for the head-on one. Does you see on the left here? Like, There's no question. There's absolutely no question who this is. You could walk around like with just the head going, "Who's this? Who's this?" and people would know who it is. It's a very strong head sculpt. I would give it close to a 9. But there's something a little bit weird about it, and I can't put my finger on it. I have looked at comparison photos. Pardon?
Like a little bit of uncanny valley for some reason. There's something.
Maybe
Something
I
is a
don't
little
know.
off.
It's almost like there's something. It's usually you can kind of go, okay, it's the nose, it's the eyes, whatever. But if you look at photos of her from the movie, even when she has the mask on or whether it's on or off, her hair, it's kind of like the hairline's pretty good, but there's a bit more volume to the hair. It's see we have it really slicked back here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit more volume to
a little
to her
bit
hair.
like a bump, almost like the Hot Toys one has.
Almost, but like there's no competition. I'm going to pick the left any day of the week.
Line.
But there's
Yeah,
a bit
100%.
of a volume on the hair. Maybe that's it. But I'm literally, no pun intended, splitting hairs. This is coming home, and that's it. And I'm guessing it's going to be around $395, $400.
Fair. And I mean, Adam, I would say the Hot Toys version, if people had the Hot Toys one, the 2.0 especially, like I had that figure, I had a hard time even giving it away, if I'm honest. Like I ended up giving it to our buddy Mysterio Meotics for his display. Well, I sold it to him, but I didn't sell it to him for a lot. Like I practically felt like I gave it away because, like what you have to pay for these figures to get them in hand now is wild. But I had a really hard time displaying it because of that weird forehead line, like I talked about at the beginning with the faceplate look. But he ended up putting it in his display on a bat pod in kind of the back more of his display behind some of his other Dark Knight characters. It still looks freaking awesome. Like he was able to pose it in a way that looked really good. I think if she doesn't necessarily have to be up front in the display, that Hot Toys one is still certainly serviceable. It's just when we're spending hundreds of dollars on these items, the word serviceable still feels like a little bit of a slap in the mouth. You know what I mean? And so, Adam, when you saw this figure pop up from Inart, what was your first thought on it? What are your thoughts on the oversaturation of Dark Knight, or do you feel like that's the case? Well, how did this land with you?
Well, the Nolan trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all. I love those 3 films, and I have a lot of the Hot Toys figures from the film. Plus, I have the Inart Joker 2-pack, the Heath Ledger Joker 2-pack. I love those 2 figures. There's a line from the movie. I have the Hot Toys Catwoman 2.0, and I don't hate the figure, but it was definitely it probably was the first unboxing I did of a figure where I was kind of a little disappointed in it. And there's a line from the movie Dirty Dancing, where probably the most famous line from that movie, Dirty Dancing, where they says nobody puts baby in the corner. Remember that?
Yeah.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. Well, I got to be honest. I put Catwoman in the corner because where I have her displayed, it's on the shelf, on the riser, behind Bane and John Blake from Dark Knight Rises, and kind of like on the third shelf there, so you can see her, but not too close. And from that distance, she looks fantastic. Like you said, you kind of teed me up nicely. If I wanted to sell this, the Hot Toys 2.0, I wouldn't get jack squat for it. Undoubtedly, this Inart looks light years better than the Hot Toys. But you got to make some choices in this hobby. And as much as I love the Nolan films, and the next figure I have on pre-order from that is the Scarecrow. I got to make choices. Do I want Scarecrow? Do I want Vader on the table? Do I want a Spider-Man figure? Or do I want to try to unload the Hot Toys 2.0 for next to nothing and then pay $400 or so for this? I'll keep what I got. As much as I think this is a superior figure, what I would say is if I didn't have the Hot Toys 2.0, I would be looking to get this. But, you got to make choices, and I'm good enough with what I got. But I think anyone who's going to get this is, should be happy, be very happy.
Hell yeah. It's been funny you say you got this one posed up, or your Hot Toys one posed up behind your Blake, because I've got that Blake and Gordon set as well, and like they're great figures. but like I would say, like the Blake does look pretty good, you know, depending on where he's in the display. But I wouldn't have thought that I'd want to put Blake in front of Catwoman necessarily in a display. Like that does definitely kind of call out your gut check on that. And I felt the same way when I first pulled it out of the box. I was like, it's not what I thought it would be. Also, her boot just was like really rolled down her leg. Like it was just the QC on it wasn't supreme. But talking about Supreme, X-Men Supreme. Any thoughts on Inart just overall in terms of their trajectory, the Dark Knight line, or the Catwoman? What's your experience been so far?
I want this figure. This is a great looking. This prototype looks fantastic. I don't think that they could have done it better, honestly. And you're not going to see anyone do it better. I don't believe. Certainly not from Hot Toys. But I don't even have one Dark Knight figure in my collection. And I keep flirting with the idea of getting a Joker. Like, I really do want a Heath Ledger Joker. I just haven't done it yet. And there's, thankfully, a lot of choices out there for when that day, you know, if that day ever does finally come.
I could sell you one, by the way, because I do have a custom Joker head sculpt coming that I'm going to swap out on one of my Inart figures. And the Inart ones are still no slouch by any stretch. They're still great, but I don't need 3 Jokers in my display. So I could always send you like a body itself, like a figure itself. Something to consider. So
I'll consider it.
We can take that offline.
Yeah, we'll consider it. But I think this figure looks fantastic, and we've seen it already with Inart. They're making their Wukong figures, and they started with the 6 scale, and then they started with the 6 scale they started with, right? Because they're making both scales for Wukong.
Yep.
And they've already made a 12 scale for Batman for the Dark Knight. I have no doubt at all that they're going to make a 6 scale Christian Bale Batman. They're making 6 scale Catwoman. There's no way they're not going to make Batman. That would just be ridiculous.
I'd be shocked. Yeah.
And they're going back and making, you know, at least the Trinity from the Snyderverse. They're going to make a Christian Bale Batman. And it's going to blow everything Hot Toys has ever done out of the fucking water. So, because the way that Inart so far has been doing it, from my perspective, as someone who only has one Inart figure, being the Superman, the Snyderverse Superman, much as I dislike the Snyderverse, I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. And I've seen, you know, what Hot Toys has done for Superman in the past, not in hand, but by comparison elsewise. And none of those, I never liked any of those. And I think the collector-wide consensus on the Inart Cavill is he's fantastic. I don't think anyone doesn't like that figure. If they don't, well, I don't know. But
I gave Eddie a lot of shit because I was like, I don't think it looks enough like Henry Cavill, but he told me I was crazy. So
I think you're crazy.
It was a hot take.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, nothing Hot Toys has done comes close to that. And I feel very fortunate to have been able to get him way later for what I paid for him. Even I feel very fortunate for that. And I'm glad to have him. I feel like this is one of those figures that when Inart makes their Batman, their Bale, people are going to want this. And the people who didn't get this now because they don't have Bale now,
that's a good point,
are going to be clamoring for this. Or they're going to wish they had gotten it when they could because it's way more expensive later on. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows what the market's going to look like when that happens. But this is one that I definitely would get if I were collecting the Dark Knight. But like, you know, like Adam said, there are so many lanes. And you can't be in all of them. So you gotta pick and choose. You gotta make your choices. This is a figure that I would love to have, but definitely have to pass on. But dang, they did a good job with this.
Hell yeah, dude!
They really did.
Very well said. Interesting thought too on that whole like if they do their own Batman, are people going to be pissed that they didn't get this one? That might be me. So I still have to decide whether I want to spend the kind of dollars that they're going to be asking for this on. But yeah, we'll see. Shane, I know you got I know it's getting really late your time, buddy, so I know we need to roll you out the door here. For everybody, I think most of y'all know Shane at this point, 1 6-figure focus. But if you, for some reason, are living under a rock and have not subscribed to the man, please do so. This is what his YouTube channel looks like. Shane, anything coming up for you, buddy, that you're excited about? And by the way, there's still more show, guys. We're just saying goodbye to Shane here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'll catch the rest on the replay and get your thoughts on Batman Returns and the rest of the stuff. So look, that's my channel there. Hope show live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and just covering up any I suppose releases or updates and stuff like that. And I have the Deadpool battling version, which I've yet to unbox and record a video on. Yeah, but that's it, yeah. So thanks very much, and thanks for having me. And
dude,
nice
thanks
to
for
see
making it in.
X-Man and Adam again. So see you, folks. Right.
Good seeing you, Shane.
Get
Have a good one,
some
Shane.
sleep, buddy. We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thanks for coming.
See you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Alrighty. Well said, X-Men. I liked your points there, buddy. Let's keep moving on. Guys, we have just over 80 people watching live in the chat. Thank you so much for getting nuts with us here on Sunday. That is freaking awesome attendance for the day. If you guys don't mind, just hit the like button. Would be really, really appreciated. Just that one click. It helps the video, helps us make waves in the community. It would be awesome if you guys could do so. Let's talk about Batman a little bit more, though, because Batman Returns has been freaking released, and I am excited about this for sure, because Batman Returns is easily still one of my favorite Batman films of all time. I would say for me, in my nostalgic, iconic heart, the Batman '89 film still takes the trophy for the Keaton kind of set of movies, just in terms of what I feel is most nostalgic to me. But I always really liked the Returns suit itself specifically, and I'm very excited to be able to collect this. Now, the cool thing about this suit as well, since this is a 2.0, we're finally getting a chance to see another Keaton head sculpt. And you can see here all the way back to MMS 294 versus the MMS 770. Definitely some changes in what we see here, both the mouth plates, the skin tan, the head sculpt itself. But that original was still no slouch. In fact, in a lot of people's displays, that original Keaton is still their preferred version of Keaton, which I think is interesting, especially after all these hundreds of MMS numbers have been released since, right? But I still say, did this do better than the prototype? I think that the final that you see on the right versus the prototype photo on the left, I think the final is still just as good, if not even slightly better than the prototype. I think they've nailed the Keaton likeness here. And because I've got the Jazz Inc. Penguin on the way, the Sewer Penguin, and I've got the Jazz Inc. Battle Damaged Catwoman, I actually think that I'm going to keep my cowl on my '89 Batman and use the head sculpt with the torn off mask for the display on this particular Batman. I did go in on the deluxe, so I'm going to get the base as well. Shout out to Zord Photography that took some freaking spectacular photos, including this photo on the left, whereas if I had the verticality in my display, this might actually be the look I'd go for, because that goes freaking hard. And this is, of course, the '89 Batman base that it's standing on, but holy shit, that's such a cool photo.
That's sexy.
So yeah, big shout out to him, as well as capturing some of the dynamic posability of the suit. Considering it's the rubber suit, I mean, I wouldn't leave him in this pose for very long because he might damage the suit long term, but the fact that he can pose it this well looks great. I think the only things that I can say negative about this are, I have seen some criticism that they look like they may have used the same mouth plates as the '89 did. And I know guys like Jackson Jew had done kind of a custom mouth plate that people said were on their '89 suit was better. I don't care for it necessarily. I think that this looks just like Keaton in the cowl. I'm happy with it. And Batman capes are notoriously not always the greatest material, so I do have a Jackson Jew custom cape coming for mine once it's in hand. But otherwise, freaking super excited. Can't wait. I got mine from Sideshow, so I probably won't even see this until Q1 or Q2. I'm still waiting on my Wolverine, my deluxe Wolverine, and I'm waiting on my Vader. I'm waiting on a couple others, so I don't think I'm going to see this before the new year, but I'm very excited to get it in my display. X-Men, I'll go to you first actually on this one, buddy. What were your thoughts here on the release of Batman Returns?
For me, this is the best Keaton Batsuit. It's so nice. It's so sleek. It's high speed, low drag. It's great. The cape, I think, definitely needs a replacement, only because, and this is the same style of cape that they put with the '89 that they just re-released, and I think that works fine for the '89, but this suit is so sleek. It needs to have a matching cape. It needs to have that leather cape to really complete the look. But damn, if Zord doesn't make this shit look amazing. My God, that is just. I didn't care about the glider wings. I
Same.
got the deluxe because I want to have them still. But
Well, and the head sculpt
Yeah.
came with the deluxe. And
but after seeing this though, I may find a way to put up that 89, stand and put him up on there with the wings. I'm gonna completely plagiarize this pose. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But just him standing there with the grapple look at that. That friggin' like there's a subtlety in the way he's posed him, the way he's, shifted the weight of his body, the shift of his shoulders and everything. It's almost a museum pose, and it looks so friggin' good. Like that might be the pose for everybody who wants to, just preserve the suit. Just put that one arm down, just have him standing there like that, and he looks brilliant. Batman looks great no matter how you pose him. Batman's got the best silhouette of any superhero, barring absolutely none. And this figure, my God, I can't look at Zord's pictures and not feel a little something crazy under the utility belt. But man,
a little stirring. It's getting nuts.
Yeah,
in his own house.
As Adam West once said about Julie Newmar's Catwoman, it gives me curious stirrings under my utility belt. But he nails it with every picture that he takes. With these in particular, it's just the perfect storm of character and iteration of character. And that's I don't even words fail me. He really did capture it. And this is a great suit. I've been wanting this figure for a long time. This is a good argument for not buying backward. Because I was resigned to the idea that I'm never going to have a Keaton Batman. And then they did these 2.0s. And now we have the modern suit. And it's just, I got all the Keaton Batman I could ever possibly want. And it's fantastic. I love the hell out of this. I'm very, very much looking forward to this.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on the actual likeness on Keaton as well and the mouth plates?
I think he looks great. I think it looks like him. I think the mouth plates look like him. I think the sculpt is great. The only problem that I have with the unmasked sculpt is I really do wish they had done the separate neck so they could get rid of that ugly ass head panel. I hate that. I hate when they do that. They need to stop with the head panels. I know that like sometimes it looks better to have a full neck and everything, but I'd rather be able to move his head a little bit more and not have that ugly ass seam. Because man, it's such a pain in the ass to look at that shit. But it's still a good looking sculpt, and I'll probably alternate from time to time between masked and unmasked because I too have the Catwoman coming, but I went all in and got the deluxe because I'm insane, and I will have her, all messed up and all clean and nice, and he'll work great with both. So we will see how that goes.
Hell yeah. Erman Hazim 4022 says, shout out all the way from Malaysia, brothers. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for being here.
Hell yeah. Monsoon season ain't nothing to fuck with.
There you go. He says, Batman underscore collectible says, I have it in hand. It looks great. The body is light. No weight to it at all. Also, the belt is extremely loose. That's interesting. But again, probably some ability to pose it then. So maybe for better or for worse. Hard to say. Adam, what do you think about Batman Returns here now that we got the release? How do you think it compares to the original 1.0? And yeah, where did this land for you?
Well, I agree with Dave. I think in terms of suits, this is the 92 Batman Returns suit is one of Batman's best cinematic suits. I have, like you guys, I have the deluxe on pre-order as well from Sideshow, and I can't wait to get this. This is one of my most anticipated figures. I'm going to display him, I think like you've been with the Keaton head sculpt. I have the modern suit Batman from The Flash, and I have him displayed with the Keaton head sculpt. So I'm going to have them next to the Batmobile young Bruce, old Bruce, next to each other, and then I have the Batman '89 with the bloody mouth plate. So I can't wait with those three, plus with my Nicholson Joker, just the four Keaton film characters together. I think they did a bang up job on this. In terms of how it compares to the 1.0, I've just seen pictures. I haven't actually seen a 1.0 Batman Returns in person. I mean, it seems an improvement, but I think if you have that 1.0, you should be happy with that. I don't necessarily see a need to upgrade. I think you should be pretty happy with what you got. But if you're like me and like Dave, who missed out on those 1.0s and saw some of those aftermarket prices, I think this is
some crazy ones.
This is a home run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think this is the one. Like, I have a this or that segment on the Ben Thomas Show, right? And often, like, the this or that got started because of 1.0s versus 2.0s in a lot of ways. And there are some that figures out there that are like, that 2.0 is, God, it's needed. Like, man, that figure didn't age well. I'm like, I love my Farm Boy Luke, but every time I think about figures that need an upgrade, I look at that Farm Boy Luke, because like that one, he's not aging in comparison to what figures nowadays look like. But this, though, I mean, there's hundreds of MMS numbers between these two, and yet that 1.0 is still certainly no slouch by any stretch. And that 1.0 came with him and his tux as well, right? Like, it came with the Bruce Wayne figure, not just the head sculpt. So that was interesting. Dave, you mentioned the hair piece on the back. I had a figure recently. I can't remember which one it is now, if I'm honest. Was it John Wick? No, I don't remember. I don't remember what figure. Oh, it was my T1000. My new T1000 2.0. The hair piece on the back was a different color than the rest of his hair, so it didn't blend in well. So like, I reached out to Sideshow to try to get a replacement, but just the fact that it didn't match was very not a good look for such a premium collectible, especially a 2.0 after all this time. But if you guys if you had to say to a collector, which one is more iconic for the display when it comes to Keaton, do you guys have a preference, whether it's the 89 look or the return suit, or are you just straight up, no, you have to have both? Where do you guys
It's hard, man, because like the 89, that's it, right? Like, that's where it all started. That's where the real, hype happened. It's hard to match just 89 as an entity. I feel like if you're going to get one, then that's the one. But again, like I said, this is my favorite Keaton suit. It's one of probably my top 3 bat suits, cinematically.
Yeah, for me, it's I already had the 89, the 2.0, and I feel like that head sculpt of Keaton is so good. To leave it in a box is a shame. So, while it's a slightly different suit, the bat symbol is slightly different. I think having the 89, with the cowl on, obviously, and then the unmasked head sculpt with the Batman Returns, that's the way to go. Just like I have 2 of the yellow suit Wolverines. I have one with the unmasked and one with the mask, because you gotta, to keep the Hugh Jackman head sculpt in the box. That's just wrong. But it's also iconic to have that masked head sculpt. So I felt like, I gotta have both.
Yeah, for sure. I have always that debate with myself when it comes to really good head sculpts on figures, because for me, like, I'd still almost prefer to display them as the full Batman look. But when they give you, like you said, such a good head sculpt, it's like, how do you not pose it that way, right? But my 89 didn't come with this head sculpt, so I think having both looks in the display will be cool. I'm also thinking of kind of the battle damage end scene of Batman Returns, where he's got his cowl ripped off, Catwoman's all battle damaged, like with the Jazz Inc. figure with half of her face hanging out, and then of course the sewer penguin, which is covered in his green gooey blood stuff, right? So I think the display itself is going to be really cool. I think I'm going to take the display base that comes with this deluxe and use it with something else. So like maybe a Daredevil figure, even maybe a Spider-Man or something like that, to kind of put it somewhere else in the display. Because I don't think both of my Batmans need to stand on on a display as cool as this. Alternatively, I'll use the cat head ball on that display with Catwoman, maybe, but remains to be seen. But guys, let's move on to our last Hot Toys news of the day, I believe it is, and it's kind of a 2-for. We had all of the Spider-Mans listed here. Every Spider-Man suit we've seen over the years. And one that stands out to a lot of people, and I'm going to need probably your help on this one a little, Adam, if I'm honest, because this predates even my generation, or at least my age at this point. I didn't have much of a connection to Spider-Man, this original look, both the US version and or of course the Japanese version that we see here on the screen as well. Both look great in terms of figures. I actually think the figures might look better than the costumes in live action actually did. There were some pretty rough looking costumes, if I'm 100% honest. The one
100%.
picture that I see constantly whenever I try to look for images or reference photos of the Japanese Spider-Man, though, was him with a machine gun, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen Spider-Man hold, I think, ever. But kind of crazy that this, the machine gun doesn't come with the Spider-Man. But you guys know that I do figure reaction videos. Usually when the news pops up, I'll do a video, pretty quickly. These are two figures that I didn't do a reaction for because I want my reactions to be truly authentic. If I don't know enough about the character, I'm not going to try to fake my way through it necessarily. These objectively look like Spider-Man outfits. I think the history of Spider-Man in the display could be really cool. The US version only had 600 units available, which seems like an incredibly small amount, and then 1,500 for the Japanese one. Although if I was going to lean towards either one, if somebody was going to say, I'll get you one of these Spider-Man, which ones do you want? I would say the Japanese one stands out more to me. It's cooler looking for some reason. I don't know what it is about it. I just think it's cooler looking. Maybe it's just the concept of it. But yeah, I skipped doing a figure preview on it because for me, I just don't have quite that connection. What about you though, Adam? Not to be ageist, did you have a connection to this? Did you grow up with this at all, or is this a skip for you back in the day? Where did you land on this when this got announced this week?
Yeah, I sure did have a connection. The 77 Spider-Man, it was a TV movie series thing, movies, I believe. And I think it was on CBS it aired, either CBS or ABC. And it starred Nicholas Hammond, whose claim to fame prior to starring as Superman or Spider-Man was he was in The Sound of Music. He was one of the kids in The Sound of Music. I just, as the three Spider-Men that were kind of got me hooked on the character when I was little was seeing reruns of the late 1960s Spider-Man cartoon, with the Spider-Man theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are reruns. I didn't see those when those first aired. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which was a early 1980s Saturday morning cartoon that aired on NBC, where he teamed up every week with Iceman and Firestar, and you had different guest stars like Captain America, the Hulk, the X-Men. That was definitely a gateway for me for comics. And then this TV movie, this was the first live action interpretation of the character. I loved it. Now I've looked back on YouTube and it don't age well. It's not good.
Yeah.
However, it does touch that nostalgia vibe for me. I was able to pick this up. I just lucked out, and I'm give a shout out to El Professor Mario. He posted that this dropped, and I happened to just get out of a staff meeting and immediately didn't hesitate, immediately clicked the link and bought it. In probably 5-10 minutes later, it was sold out. For me, this definitely hit the nostalgia vibes for me. I loved this when I was a kid. It seemed like forever until we got our real live action Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in 2002. So yeah, can't wait to get this. To me, this is your classic, Spider-Man suit. I think the one issue I think I have with this is 600 units. That's way too small a batch.
Yeah.
I think at least 1,500. It should have been the same as the Japanese Spider-Man at a minimum, because I think there's enough old school fans like me who are interested in this.
Totally.
And even if for those who weren't alive, don't have the nostalgia connection to the 1977 show, there's enough people who just would want the classic red and blue suit Spider-Man outfit. They'd be like, yeah, I'll get this. And I tell you, I appreciate the base on this with the Spider-Man logo. It's like such that I guess it's the font. That's classic, like late 1970s, early 80s font style of logos.
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And you nailed it for me on the 600 piece too, because when I was thinking about this on Collecting Weekly this last Tuesday, when I see a number like 600, I immediately just think scalpers, right? I think of the guys like you who actually will want this figure in their display, and then how many people will just scoop it up because they got to the line first and sell it for double on the aftermarket. Now I get it. That's just the way the world is. So it's kind of like, an old man shouting at clouds. It feels like by saying it even out loud, because we just know it's going to happen, but it sucks. That takes away some of the fun of collecting sometimes. But the shadow drops also don't freaking help anybody, because when they just shadow drop it, and it is, like you said, the middle of a work day, I've missed many figures because of that over the last 2 years, and it's starting to drive me freaking nuts. Now, I did say on Collecting Weekly Tuesday as well, and Yomo just reminded me here as well, says, I hope we get a Ferrigno Hulk and a Bixby David Banner. Man, like a Ferrigno Hulk, that was something that I did watch when I was younger, and I do have some nostalgia for. And kind of like you said about Inart with the Batman, like, hey, if you skip on the Catwoman, but then they give you a Batman, are you going to be upset that you didn't get the Catwoman? That I almost feel like with this Spider-Man and the Ferrigno Hulk, like if they made a Ferrigno Hulk and I got it, would I want that same era of Spider-Man to then go along with it, or would I not care? Because again, that nostalgia just isn't quite there. Like, you have to think about how you want to display. I think the other piece for me, and Dave, you can talk about this here as well, is I was surprised to see them go back this far in the well. Now, while it's a Spider-Man, while they looked at this Hot Toys and said, we can make that. Like, it's a Spider-Man outfit. We've made lots of these. Like, we can do that. It also does give me the hope that we're going to still continue to see over the next couple of years here IPs and characters that we honestly thought would never come. And when they give us stuff like this, I'm like, hey, man, it gives me more hope that tomorrow's release isn't just going to be another Iron Man variant or just another gold clone or like whatever, right? Something still different enough to differentiate people's displays. X-Men, what were your thoughts here on Japanese Spider-Man and the American one as well?
Well, when you think about it, about 10 years ago, was it, that they had, maybe a little bit more than 10 years ago, that they did Adam West and Burt Ward. And kind of lines up with the time frame, right? Because this came out a little less than 10 years after that show started.
Right.
So I don't think it's surprising in that way. Honestly, I'm surprised that they did so few of them. Like everybody, especially the US version. Like, what the hell? Where are we? It's Spider-Man. What are we talking about here?
100%.
I would think, if anything, if one was going to be shortchanged, it would have been the Japanese version, only because, Spider-Man is very much an American institution. Like, it is a United States thing. So it's crazy to me that they did it that way. But also a lot of people here love the Japanese version.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, the ridiculousness of it all. Yeah. Like, he's got a friggin' Megazord and a Tommy gun, which, by the way, the dude who made the 6-scale Stitch figure and who made the Deadpool and Wolverine, accessories for the adamantium bones, he's making a Tommy gun. He posted it up on his Instagram.
Okay.
So for everyone who's getting this one, you've got a chance to get that too, which is friggin' awesome.
Awesome.
But like, this came out not long before I did. like this was 78.
Yeah.
Friggin' the American version was in 77, and I was in 79, so I was right there lined up. But I still, like Adam West, you see stuff from the past like this interesting and weird and kooky. And I think this is a great. I think this suit is going to be sick because you can actually pose this. This is going to be the most posable Spider-Man figure that Hot Toys has made, outside of like the homemade suit from Homecoming. But that's not an actual Spider-Man suit. This is an actual Spider-Man suit. So people have got to be excited about this. And I honestly, to be totally honest, I'm tempted to try and get my hands on one of these. And I've already got my Spider-Man. I've got my 3 Spideys from No Way Home because I wanted to do the meme. And I'm good, but this is tempting because this is really awesome. And it's a nice time capsule of a figure. It's history of the character, and it's really cool to have something like that. I think this is going to look great on everyone's shelves. I think this is the one time that the head seam is actually accurate and no one's going to complain about it because that's how it looked in the show. It was janky as hell, and that was part of the charm. I think this is a great outing. I think they should have done more. That would be great. And at the very least with this Japanese version, you take off that big old wristwatch and you've got a Steve Ditko Spider-Man. So pretty good offering, I would say. I think they did a good job here, outside of the strangulation of the dispensary. Words are hard. Yes.
Words are forming. Yes. No, well said, man. Honestly, really well said. Yeah. Do you know, you were mentioning the guy with the Tommy gun. Somebody asked in the chat do you know the Instagram on that by chance?
I will find it right now. It is, I can never say it properly, but I will link it in the chat here so you can put it up there. In the chat.
That'd be dope.
Lane asked about if we could get a Captain America from the late 70s too. And I think these 2 figures were not on my bingo card for 2025 or for any year that Hot Toys would come out with. So, I think these are, they're super obscure and frankly, and I think what Hot Toys has done is thrown the gauntlet down and said, listen, if it appeared on TV or film, it could happen. So never say never with these. I think you could see Captain America from the late 70s. I definitely think you could see, if they get the rights issue, with Lou Ferrigno and the Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk series. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Love to see it. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. And we do have one of our friends of the channel here with us as well, and one of our channel members. We got Saphira Cosplay in the chat. She says, there we go. Now I can see the whole chat now. So yeah, I apologize if you guys are joining us today watching on replay or live. There are 2 different looks right now. StreamYard recommended that we give a vertical option or a horizontal option. There are 2 stream links right now in the main chat, as well as as on the channel. So if you are watching this only vertically and you're like, what the hell is with this view? You can switch it. But since she reminded of us that, let's say this to Saphira here. Saphira.cosplay on Instagram, one of our friends of the channel. If you are into cosplay, TikTok, all of those things, really great content here, and we're gonna get her back here pretty soon with us, so please do yourselves a favor after the show today. Go over to Instagram and subscribe or follow, I suppose, on Instagram. This particular link will get her back here on the channel very soon, hopefully. So anyways, she's got to accept the invite, but she's drank the Kool-Aid. She got her first Hot Toys figure now, so one of us guys. Thank you so much for being my panelists today. Thank you to Shane, 16 Figure Focus, of course, who was here with us a little bit earlier. Definitely appreciate everybody. Let's say a quick thank you to our Classy Nut crew. That's Alvin J, Honest Hansel, Money Mendez, Harry Dempsey, Big Rib, 16 Figure Focus, Vita, aka Her Geeky Side, which hopefully this isn't a spoiler, but I did see on Instagram, I think it was yesterday or the day before, Vita, aka Her Geeky Side, and Jim Collector are now engaged. So congratulations to those guys. They are my favorites out there. Love those guys. Really, really happy to see it. They got engaged in Japan while they're there on a trip right now.
Wow.
So really big news. When they're back, we're going to make sure they're on the channel so we can say hi to them and hear about their experience. Maybe see some cool photos. So big congratulations to those guys. King Dingaling, Jose G. Hernandez, The Real Tex Conway, Collection Obsession, The Movie Canon, Figurecraft, Don Maton, Alex Serrato, Pop Culture Relics, Daniel S.C., Ryan Smith, Collector Joey, Sam Gist, Rachel Miller, Mike and Callie, Figure in a Bubble, Daguito, Blair Dad Life, Alex Serrato, Saphira Cosplay, Aaron Broverman, Monroe Corbeil, L Walker, and then of course our lovely Nut Kings. We've got SpongeBob SquareBalls, love you bud, miss you bud all the time, as well as Field to Burn, of course, we miss you as well, good sir. Collecting Weekly, The Batman 12-inch Moose Stream, X-Men Supreme, Peter Cass, Valkyrie Magnus, Ron E, One Adam 12, Sith Scale Collector, OG Fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars, Manny Fresh 369, Trevor Weed, and Tijuana Mike, aka King Churro. And guys, of course, if you are here, you're on the Ben Thomas Show already, I would definitely appreciate a like. If you have not had a chance to subscribe, please do so. Or if you want to become one of our channel members, we would love to see that as well. I didn't realize Jim Collector was here with us, but hell yeah, what a time to turn on the stream. We love you guys. Congratulations. Hopefully I didn't spoil any news that you wanted to share, but it was on Instagram, so it's free reign, I hope. So, but we love you guys. Can't wait to hear about your trip and your experiences there, as well as some amazing photos that have been coming through. And again, yes, please, for the love of God, also go and subscribe or follow Saphira Cosplay, our friend, there as well. Mr. 1 Adam 12, you also have your own YouTube channel, buddy. What's going on for you, man, that we can be excited for?
Yeah, just check out posted. My daughter Emily and I did an unboxing of the greatest villain of all time, Darth Sidious, from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So check that out. And Wednesday night, I will be joining you, my friend, on the Wolfpack Wednesdays. And next Friday night, I believe the Movie Canon will have his weekly stream at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then if you're back next week, I'll be here too.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. As long as we get some news next week, the plan is to be back. So we had lots of great engagement, over 85 people watching live at our peak today. So it was awesome to see everybody here. Hopefully everybody had a fun time. Definitely go over and subscribe to the One Adam 12 YouTube channel. I would definitely appreciate it. Adam shows up for me every single week. Same with Dave in a lot of ways. You guys always try hard, and I really appreciate that. Vita, aka Her Geeky Side, in the chat saying thank you as well. Thank you guys for just being awesome friends. I love talking to both of you individually and together at the same time as well. So I'm stoked for you guys. Really stoked for you guys. And then yes, Mr. 1 Adam 12, go over, follow the YouTube channel there. Really great content, either individually or with your daughter, but always really fun to see. So love it there. Mr. X-Men Supreme, you've got a fat Wolverine over your shoulder. We didn't have a chance to take a look at it, but anything coming up for you that you've been excited about this week? Tell us about that statue really quick before we roll you.
This came up because I was watching Art Statue Collector a few months ago. Yeah. Every now and again I'll get on his channel, and he was showing this off, and it was like a run of 50 that these guys did. What was it called? Reborn Studio. Okay. And it's just a little fat boy Wolverine, man. He's
dude, it's so fun.
He's
look at the
it's
cheeks.
ridiculous as hell. Yeah, they got the little Deadpool Band-Aid on there.
Is that the Deadpool dog taking a shit on his foot?
Like, that is exactly what this is.
That is amazing.
And he's got a little turd on his boot right there.
Oh no.
Yeah. And they made a little coin of it.
That's dope.
With a bit of a certificate of authenticity kind of thing there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, man, this is a lot of fun. I figured, you know what? This is how I looked when I got my super suit. Because I'm a big old boy. So let me get something that looks more like me.
Dude, I think it's fucking awesome, man. I think it's awesome. That's very cool. And sorry, what did you say the studio was?
Reborn Studio.
Reborn Studio. And that's
they made
of 50? Only 50?
One of 50, yeah. This is number 27 of 50. They made Deadpool as well to go with it. That sold out already. I think they made a Magneto as well.
Cool.
But
check that out. That's fun.
But that was pretty cool. I put a link in the chat there if you guys are able to see it for the guy on Instagram, Six Caro Art. It was on his.
Put it in the private chat because I don't know if I can see it. It might be spam blocking it just in case.
All right, it's in the private chat now. But this was, he put it up in his stories, and it's not available anymore, and it's not on his regular, images. But I expect to see him put up something a little bit later, maybe, because he does do a lot of accessories and other stuff. Like I said, he did Stitch, and he did the adamantium skeleton before we knew that Hot Toys was going to do it. And he's doing a lot of weathering for Wolverines, if anyone's interested in that.
No,
cool.
Is that statue called the Hugh Jassman Wolverine?
It's called the Fatty Wolverine.
Oh my God.
That's good though. I like that. Huge ass, man. Aren't we all? Aren't we all at the end of the day?
Hey, that's me calling the pot calling the kettle black. So,
well, whether we're big guys or skinny guys, huge ass is where it's at. But
more to love.
But let's. But yeah, man, it's good to be here. It's good to show off this crazy shit. It's insane. I have no idea where he's going to live, but right now I'm just enjoying having him sitting here on my desk and looking at me all funny. But
that's awesome.
But it's
anybody
great.
Anybody on the vertical is just looking at you stare at the wall. Go over and look at this on the horizontal.
Oh yeah. Well, I can shift him over. Give you a nice little. There you go. There he is.
That is really cool.
This
That's
friggin'
really unique.
That's a strong magnet. Got his little cigar.
Yeah. You can put your weed in there. I love to see
you.
it.
You could do that. The cigar comes out, though. He looks a little weird not having the cigar in his mouth. But he's stomping on a friggin' stuffed unicorn, and he cut the head off, and it's on his claws. It's great. This thing is fantastic.
Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's amazing. Right through the head there. That's
just
awesome.
The most ridiculous thing you could have done with this guy. And
1 of 50 is pretty
hell
crazy too. Like that's a small collection. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, I was lucky to get a hold of it. But yeah, man, love the hell out of this thing. It's just the most ridiculous purchase you could make.
That's part of collecting, man. Makes your display unique. I'm excited for your collection tour eventually, buddy. You got to do one at some point. So.
I do. I need to. Once I adjust some stuff, I think I might be ready for it. I'm getting pretty close. I got a lot of stuff the way that I want it right now. So we'll see.
See how she goes. Guys, that wraps the show today. Again, thank you to everybody who is here getting nuts with us on a Sunday. We love your faces. If you can hit the like button on the way out the door, it would be appreciated. If not, just come back next week. Hang out with us some more. Get nuts more on a Sunday. We'll continue to do this week over week, month over month until we grow old or we get Mr. Beast famous and can go live on a yacht somewhere all together as panelists. We'll see how it goes.
Nice.
We'll see how it goes. But I love your faces. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. With that said, Mr. Al, we got nuts. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Wow, what a great audience. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
Yes, I go. What should I do? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. It's gone. It's all gone.